Today we're on our final lesson in Navy SEALs leadership. This is adapted from Extreme Ownership. And today we're talking about maintaining the edge as a leader and building a legacy. Now, we've already talked about winning the war within and then laws of combat, but these last four principles are really additional principles to help you in your leadership at work, at home, anywhere in life to maintain the edge and build that legacy. The first one is, we're going to call it planning. Create a strategy that clarifies what in the military is called commander's intent. Make sure that you have a clear understanding of what the win is and a clear plan or strategy for getting to the win. In the book, the authors say a broad and ambiguous mission results in lack of focus, ineffective execution, and mission creep. And maybe you've seen that in your own workplace or in your personal life, or maybe you saw it at a place that you worked previously. But the best organizations are the ones that have a clear plan, a clear strategy. They understand what the win is and how they're going to get there. So make sure that you have a plan for that. The second principle I just call verticality. And what we're talking about here is learning to communicate up and down the chain of command. And so that means that if you have someone who works above you, learn how to communicate up the chain of command. Learn how to explain what's going on, give good, solid feedback up the chain of command. But it also means, obviously, that your bosses know how to communicate well and give healthy feedback and get feedback down the chain of command. Here's how the authors talk about it in the book. This requires regularly stepping out of the office and personally engaging in face-to-face conversations with direct reports and observing the frontline troops in action, so that as a team, as an organization, no matter where you are in the pecking order, you understand what your role is and why that's your role, and you respect that that's what your bosses gave you because they know how to communicate down the chain of command. The third principle, I call it decisiveness. We as leaders need to learn to make the call even before we have all of the facts. There's a tendency in some leaders, and I encourage you to think about this if it's true of you, to sort of be paralyzed by fear and not step out and make decisions, and so that no decision is ever made because you're afraid to do it. The reality is that great leaders act decisively amidst uncertainty, and they make the best decisions that they can based on only the immediate information available. You can't wait forever to make decisions. The best leaders know how to make solid, good, quick decisions. And one more principle for maintaining the edge, we're just going to call it discipline. Self-control leads to more freedom, not less. So learning to be disciplined as a leader in so many ways, in so many areas, I encourage you to read this chapter in the book to learn how the authors talk about this in their own lives as Marines. But the more self-controlled and the more disciplined you are, then the more freedom you have and your organization has, and the greater the culture you'll have, the culture of winning. And this is what we're trying to get to in our organizations. So that's it for the 12 principles of extreme ownership. Now, talk about these last four principles with your group or mentor or with a consultant. And if you haven't already bought the book and read the book, I really encourage you to do it so that you can apply it in your own life and become a better leader.